Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to sit down and share with you the things that I am not going to be purchasing for baby number 2. I love making these kinds of videos talking about baby stuff and minimalism and simplifying the amount of things that we own. And it's something that I really tried to be intentional with my first baby, and there are some things that we had for him that I've just realized we didn't use, or things that we didn't use for him that I'm still not planning to use. And so I hope that this video is helpful, especially if you are a new mom. There's so many baby products out there, and I truly think that there's not that many that you actually need. Everybody's list is going to look a little bit different based on their baby and personality and different needs. So if you do use any of these things, that's obviously not a problem. I'm just sharing my list and the things that personally for us just aren't the most helpful. I will also mention that I have shared a things that you don't need for a newborn video. This one is a little bit similar, but it's a little bit more broad, thinking about the whole first year of babyhood. So I will share that video down below if you're interested, but this one is gonna cover even more topics. Before we jump in, I want to say a warm welcome if you are new here to my channel. My name is Laura, and I love sharing videos about motherhood and homemaking. I love to bring some encouragement, gentle motivation, inspiration, and so I hope that you will stick around. I love sharing videos about thrifting and food stuff and baby stuff, and I share a lot of vlogs as well. And so if any of that sounds interesting, I would love for you to subscribe and join the journey. As I'm thinking through baby products and what we're going to need for this baby, I know that there are some things that I will need to purchase. So I will do a separate video down the road once I have some of those things. I'm currently 29 weeks pregnant. I'll probably be 32-ish weeks by the time this video goes out. So I really need to start getting some of these things together, and I'll be sharing all of that process here, so stay tuned for that. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started with my list of things that we are not buying in order to save money and just simplify with baby number 2. I do have, I think, 20 items to get through, so I'm gonna try and do it quickly. The first thing is a wipe warmer. We didn't have a wipe warmer with our first. I remember thinking at the time that it didn't seem super necessary, and I found that it wasn't needed. So we're not going to get a wipe warmer. I find that the wipes don't really get cold. It doesn't seem to bother them, and so we're fine with just a regular old wipe dispenser on the changing table. And also for on the go, I'll just bring a package of wipes. I don't have a container. So really we just have the one that's in the nursery, and it doesn't warm, it's not anything fancy, and that works great for us. Next is a bottle sterilizer. I did use bottles a little bit, but when I did, if I needed to clean them or sterilize them, I would just boil water on the stove, and that worked much more easily as opposed to having a big clunky sterilizing machine that takes up counter space, which is precious real estate. And to be honest, I didn't sterilize the bottles like crazy. I would clean them, I would put them in the dishwasher. I think I just sterilized them when they were new, and after that point I don't think I did very much, and I think babies probably build up a bit of an immunity, and I just didn't feel the need to keep on sterilizing. Newborn/baby shoes. I did not have shoes for my baby until he was actually walking. I just didn't see the need. They were clunky, they seemed uncomfortable. I would just put socks on him for that first year, especially newborn shoes. I know that they're cute, but for me, that's not a good enough reason to spend money on something for my baby. It's just because it's cute. I just found that it was easier to wait until they were actually practical need and then have shoes for my son. Next is a baby food maker. This was something that I really thought about investing in for my first. I decided not to, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because when I did use baby foods, it was so easy to just use our blender that we use for everyday smoothies and things like that. And we did also do baby-led weaning, and I plan to do that again, which does limit the amount of purees that I'm making. I still did purees now and again, and I even will make smoothies for him now as he's a toddler. But having a designated baby food, baby bullet baby food maker, I just didn't find necessary. It just wasn't something that I felt like we needed. Expensive crib bedding, sheets, There are so many beautiful sheets out there, and I am so shocked at some of the prices on bed sheets for a crib. Not even like a full-size bed, but just a crib. Some of sheets that I'm seeing are quite astronomically priced, and I just personally just don't feel the need to have those. I know there's lots of cute patterns out there. I know the crib sheets that we have now, I think I got from H&M. They were organic cotton and they were like $6 each. They're just plain white, but they work fine. And I do think I will need some more crib sheets, but I'm not looking for anything expensive. I just want the quality to be good. I want them to be cotton or muslin, and that's pretty good for me. With my first, I did buy a special baby sort of laundry detergent, and I used that. It worked fine, but then I just switched him onto our laundry detergent, which is a clean one anyways. It's not scented, and I have since switched, but I still use a non-toxic laundry detergent, so I'm not planning to buy a specific baby one. I'll just use what we use for all the clothes. It makes it way easier. Then I can wash baby's clothes with my son's clothes and the whole laundry situation. Anything to simplify laundry, I am game for. So if it means not buying an extra detergent, that sounds like a great plan to me. Tons of newborn diapers. I gave away a good amount of newborn diapers because our first wasn't in them for very long, and I didn't know that as a new mom. So this time I'm probably just gonna buy a box and just see how it goes. And if we need more, I can buy more. But I remember our son was in size 1 fairly quickly. I don't remember when exactly. So instead of having multiple boxes of newborn, I will probably, again, just have one and have a few boxes of the size 1 ready to go, because from what I remember, he was in size 1 for a longer amount of time. But the newborn diapers just don't last too long. It's sad because they grow so quickly, but means I don't have to buy a bunch of newborn diapers right here at the beginning. Something else I won't be buying this time around is another stroller. We have one that we got for our first, and at that time there was a deal going on where we were able to get an additional seat for it. So it's not a double stroller, but it's the baby jogger kind where there's 2 seats. I know a lot of people love double strollers. For me, I just felt like that would be too big and clunky. And so we love our stroller. It's lightweight, it's great for walking, it's great for folding up and taking on the go. It's very compact. And since we already have the extra seat, we don't actually need to buy anything else for our stroller. This next one kind of makes me giggle a little bit because it's something that I've actually been looking at getting this time around as I've been thinking about things that we need to get for this baby, making a list, and it's a pacifier holder. And I don't know what came over me to make me think that we needed a pacifier holder, like a case that you put the pacifier in to put in the diaper bag. I didn't have one with my first, so I don't know why I think I need one this time around, but I am able to just put the pacifier in a pocket in the diaper bag. I remember with our first, I had a special pocket. That's where the pacifier went, in the diaper bag. And if it got a little bit linty or something, I would just wipe it off. It was no big deal. So I won't be getting a pacifier holder, even though they are cute and you can get different patterns and they're really adorable. You just don't need one. I'm also not going to be getting baby toys this time around, especially for the newborn stage. I didn't have really any for my first. We used our Love Every playmat, which we already have. We have some teethers, we have some high contrast books. So since we have those things already for the first year, I'm not planning to add to our baby toy collection. Next is a ton of baby proofing gadgets and things like that. This was something that I didn't really get with our first because I just kind of wanted to see how it would go and what we actually found would be helpful. The one thing that I did get were outlet covers, especially for in his room, but we don't have like the corner things that go on furniture. I'm not even sure what else is out there, like cupboard closer things. I just make sure that there's nothing accessible for him that he shouldn't have. I think it is possible to teach babies, toddlers from a young age what's okay and what's not. Doesn't mean they're always going to listen to you, but keeping things in mind, I feel like there's just other ways to go about baby proofing. So I'm not going to be getting any baby proofing type gear. This is something that I have waffled on, but I'm not going to buy, and it is a baby swing. I didn't have one with my first, but my thinking was maybe it would be helpful for a second to have a place to put baby. But then remembering, like, especially the newborn stage, I would just put him on. We have a Snuggle Me, we have a bouncer for like a little bit later on. He would be on the floor, on blankets, on the couch. And so I'm not gonna get a swing. I don't think that we will use one. If that's something that I feel like we will really need once baby is here, then it's super easy to just get one or borrow one from somebody, but it's not something that I'm proactively trying to use this time around. Tons of bottles and sippy cups. I'm not buying any bottles or sippy cups. We have many. I've actually gotten rid of many of our bottles because we did bottle feed a little bit, but not very often. So really we only needed one because we wouldn't even be using multiple bottles in the same day. And I had big bottles, I had little bottles. I did a whole nursery declutter video and I ended up just donating the smaller bottles because if I'm gonna have some bottles, I'd rather them be bigger, and then you can still only put a little amount if that's what's needed. And then sippy cups, that was something that was a bit trial and error for this first time around. So we have a few of different kinds and I have a better idea of what works, and we just didn't use them that much. He now just uses a like straw, like a water bottle more like. So I'm not gonna be getting any more drinking bottle sippy cup type things for this baby. Next is a change table with double the amount of diapers. I still don't feel like a change table is necessary. We just have a change table set up on a dresser. So I feel like that's something great to consider if you're a new mom or figuring out your nursery, as opposed to having a piece of furniture that's designated for a change table. Just using a dresser works great. Next is personal items that can't be reused, such as like a blanket with the name on it or something like that. Obviously those things are special and can be really sentimental, but I don't have anything like that for my first. So I feel like it would be weird to then have a special embroidered name blanket for my second. I feel like I'd have to get one for each of them. And then at that point, I'd rather just have blankets that can be reused and different objects like that, towels, whatever, things that can be personalized. I think it's just easier for me, for my brain, to just have things that multiple babies could use. Baby mittens I did buy for my first and I didn't use them. For one reason, I like the sleepers that have the little mitts attached. And secondly, I would just make sure his fingernails weren't sharp. And we didn't have a problem with scratches. So having separate baby mitts is just another thing that I have to keep track of, and I'd rather just not. Similar to the baby laundry soap is baby dish soap, which I did get for my first, but we use non-toxic dish soap, so I can just use that same soap for baby bottles and soothers or whatever else that I'm having to clean for baby, as opposed to getting a special baby dish soap. Next up is a bottle warmer. I totally get it that this might be a lot more practical and useful if you're using bottles a lot, but we haven't. And so I found that when I needed to heat up a bottle, I would just put it in warm or hot water, and that worked wonders. I didn't need another tool or gadget or something just for heating up bottles. And the last thing that I will not be getting for this baby are cloth bibs. I'm talking like the bibs that are worn to catch like spit up or drool. I think that's what they're used for. Obviously we have like silicone bibs for eating, but the cloth ones that they just wear all the time, I didn't have. Or actually I did have. I bought some and we never used them. I found it much easier to just have a cloth or a blanket or a swaddle or something to wipe up drool or spit up or whatever situation was going on, as opposed to having another bib. It's just another thing I need to launder. Again, I love simplifying laundry if you can't tell, and they can stain easily, which just leads to replacing them, and it's just something that I just don't want to keep up with, if I'm being honest. Well, that is everything that I could think of that I am not buying this baby, even though some of these items might be popular, or I might have even thought maybe I would use this for this baby number 2. I'm not buying them. I'm committing because I'm making this video, so you can hold me accountable. I am not planning to purchase any of these things before baby. And again, there's always room for flexibility. If one or a few of these things we found would be super helpful after baby's here, I guess that's different and maybe we would purchase something, but I don't see that happening. I don't think we'll need these things. We're planning to obviously reuse a ton of what we did the first time around. And also another great thing to keep in mind is borrowing from friends. If you do think you need something, or I'm keeping that in mind too for myself, if I think I might need something for a little season as opposed to buying it, I might just see if I can borrow for a time, and then I'm saving that cost and saving up the storage space for when that thing isn't in use. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a like. I would love for you to comment down below. Let me know what other kinds of pregnancy related videos you would like to see, if any, here on my channel. We are approaching baby's arrival, so my time is a bit limited as far as the pregnancy related content goes. So let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to share, and I will hopefully be able to do that here in the next few weeks. I am planning to do a nesting vlog, getting ready for baby, freezer meal prep, all those things. So again, make sure you're subscribed, turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any of those uploads. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you next. Bye.